Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two non-age stated Kentucky sour mash straight bourbon whiskeys. So they have a lot in common. Now the difference is that, hold on, let me put some information here. I forgot to put it. Here's the difference. So here is Daviess County. Straight bourbon whiskey sour mash produced in Kentucky for Lux Row Distillers. This bottle does not say produced by Lux Row, it says produced for Lux Row. Now, you might find a bottle that says produced by them because their distillery is up and running now, but for the longest time it was contract distilled, okay? It was an old brewery, an old distillery, but that went out of business a long time ago and someone bought up the rights for the Daviess County Bourbon Company, okay? Started in, they said the distillery back to the 1870s, but the brand Daviess County Bourbon has been around since 1936, okay? So 1936, 87 years. Now here is Henry McKenna. It says established 1855. Another deception. Henry McKenna, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, sour mash. Now they make it seem like the brand Henry McKenna has been around since 1855. You know, there's a story on the back. Heaven Hill likes to put essays on the back of their products. But look, yes, there really was a guy named Henry McKenna. Just like there was a guy named Jethro T. Boots and Hiram and Ebenezer Hiram Stedman. But these are not people that are well known, okay? And these companies like Heaven Hill, Sazerac, Lux Row Distillers, they find these old names with some oftentimes flimsy evidence, and they'll say, oh yeah, Evan Williams been around since 1783. No, the Evan Williams brand of bourbon has been around since 1955. Henry McKenna, 1961, not 1855. But I'm not going to keep worrying about it. I mean, that's how these companies do. The question is really, how does it taste now? Okay, let me go, what's the price point on it, stuff like that. So Henry McKenna, oh wait, let's do the Daviess County first. So Daviess County is running about $38 to $40. You do an online search, depends on whose website you're checking out and if it's available. It's not really too common. It's not the kind of thing where you just drop into any liquor store and it's going to be on the shelf. But no, the case actually is that it might be on the shelf. It's not like Evan Williams that I was talking about, which is, you're going to always see that. You know, any liquor store is going to have that. Bill cork, okay. This thing will focus. It is trying to. There it goes. Real cork. Double mash bill bourbon. They take two separate bourbons, aged 4 years or more, a high rye bourbon and a wheated bourbon. They blend them together and make a single bourbon. Okay, a 2-in-1. So Kentucky straight bourbon. It's made somewhere in Kentucky. That's all we know. Doesn't have to be at the same distillery. It wouldn't count. It could be from different distilleries as long as they're all in the same state. That's the issue there. Straight bourbon, no coloring added, no flavoring added, okay? They're shooting straight. Got to be aged at least 2 years. We know this is at least 4 because it has no age statement, and that's the law. Henry McKenna. It's got no age statement. So we know this is at least 4 years old. We know it's sour mash bourbon, which is a process, or if you live in Canada, a process. We know this one is straight bourbon, says it right on the label. It's aged at least 2 years in American, new, charred American oak barrels, most likely white oak, and it has no coloring or flavoring added, and it is very hazy at the bottom of this bottle. They tend to do that, get kind of hazy. All right. So the color you see is the color that it is. It's not boosted with some caramel color. Not that that's an unusual practice. It is common, but not for straight bourbon. It's illegal for straight bourbon. Scotch very often has coloring added. Canadian whiskey very often has coloring added. A lot of American whiskeys have coloring added. It's just they can't be straight bourbon. That's all. That's just a specific type. But this was $9.99. So yes, you can find Kentucky straight bourbon. I know a store right now. Could have gone there yesterday and has it for $9.99. Of course, you're going to get it cheap if you buy the handle. Some stores got the handle for $16.99. $16.99 for a huge jug of Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So you don't have to pay a fortune to get Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It doesn't have to be from Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Some people have this belief that bourbon has to come from Kentucky. No, that's where it originated. It can come from Louisiana. It can come from Missouri. There is some Missouri straight bourbon. It's not common. There's a lot of Indiana straight bourbon, which is rather common. But yeah, Kentucky is where and there's a lot of Tennessee straight bourbon, but Kentucky is where it generally comes from. Okay. So yes, you could pay $40 for the Daviess County regular size bottle, pretty bottle, beautiful embossed bottle, fancy, got nice shape to it, nice color. Henry McKenna got that wood thing going. The whole thing's dark brown wood. Kind of plain bottle, but not a bad looking bottle. $9.99. So it's up to you. You want to pay $9.99 or $38.99? It's your choice. Now, you would hope that the one that's $29 more is going to be a whole lot better. Is it really though? But like I say, if you really want to buy Henry McKenna, your bet, and you really you're going to drink it, your best bet is to get the handle. It's going to be cheaper per ounce. Like I say, $16.99 or even maybe less. Probably unlikely to be less than that. Although I do know a store that has some Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey for $14.99, big handle. I was tempted to buy it, but I got too much now. An old brand too, and a real old brand, not one of these fakes that's claiming, it's from the 1800s when it's really from 1961. No, this one, Tom Moore, really is from the date they give it. I found the trademark data, and certainly it was. Just like Old Charter, it is from the date they give. Sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's a trick. Okay. Now, you might go to the store and say, wait a minute, this Henry McKenna's $50-something. Yeah, but that's the 10-year aged. If you get the 10-year age, no, that's different. They list that. They have a web page for it and everything. But this one, they don't even show a photo of it. It's like they're ashamed about it. They just list it. I put the listing product specifications on there. Oh, real fast. What other whiskeys does this company make? Well, we can't name them all. But they're listing, oh my gosh. The Henry McKenna single barrel, like I say, is not going to be $9.99. The 10-year age is not going to be $9.99. They list in BHC WBE specialty products. I really don't know what those are. Elijah Craig, small batch toasted barrel, premium single barrel, barrel proof. Those are going to cost a lot. Evan Williams, 1783, black Evan Williams, green Evan Williams, white Evan Williams, single barrel. Those will have various price points depending on the the fanciness of it. The green label will be your cheapest one. You can find that for $9.98. It's still at one store I know of. Fighting Cock Bourbon, that's kind of famous one. They don't allow cockfights anymore. Even in Louisiana, it was outlawed. Few Bourbon, F-E-W, Few. Must be somebody's name. There's a Heaven Hill Bourbon, many different types. I have one. I haven't opened it yet. Heaven Hill Select Stock, Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. Larceny Premium, Old Fitzgerald. Yes, and there's the Old Fitzgerald 10-year in the decanter, $75. The other one's only $20. Parker's Heritage, Widow Jane. Many of these I've never even seen in the store. Bluff Springs, Cabin Still. Seen that. Know where to find it. Dormax. Clubhouse, Echo Spring, JTS Brown, JW Dant, Bonded, JW Dant. Oh, Kentucky Deluxe, white bourbon. It's the white label. Mellow Bourbon. T.W. Samuels. I've seen it. The black label. Didn't buy it. No, black label's 80 proof. The white label's 100 proof. Yeah, I didn't buy it, but I've seen it. Virginia Bourbon. I think I have seen that. All right, but not often. Okay, now down to the taste. Oh, and by the way, Lux Row makes a bunch of different bourbons, like you probably heard of Ezra Brooks. Got that. Boy, it's really popular at Walmart right now. Walmart's been pushing Ezra Brooks like crazy. Don't know why. I guess people like it. I never had it, but I'm sure a lot of people like it. Okay. I want to find that Ezra Brooks blended. That's going to be hard to track, boy. Okay, this smells like faint grits. I had grits this morning. How come I'm always having grits when I'm about to do bourbon taste challenge? I always forget about that. It's like I'm going to have a corn infusion. Yeah, it's like just faint grits, which is corn that's crunched up into like grit. You know what I'm saying? Like granules. When you think of grits, think of cornmeal, because basically the same thing. This is a sweeter nose, still sweet corn, but I don't know which is which. So at this particular time, I do not know which is which. So appearance, they both copper, so appearance doesn't seem to matter much. Aroma is not indicating any kind of big difference, even though we're looking at $29 to $30 difference per bottle. About the biggest disparity so far. Except I had that Jethro T Boots for $8.99. Now that is a Kentucky sour mash straight bourbon whiskey that I know I can find for $8.99 right now, unless they changed the price since the last time I was in CVS, which wasn't too long ago. Yeah, CVS Pharmacy. It's their own brand. Can you believe a pharmacy has their own bourbon brand? But they do, and it's $8.99. Okay, so tie. So right now, who has the advantage? Henry McKenna has the advantage because it got no real difference in appearance, and the aroma is about the same. So McKenna is running away with the contest, but I think it's going to lag behind once we do the taste. That's going to collapse. All right. Get some pretty good body here. Some strong bourbon, you know, that vanilla, charred oak, candy corn. Sour mash has kind of that sourdough flavor bagel thing going. I want to get some bagels. I did eat a bagel last month though. Yeah, with cream cheese on it and jelly. It was good. All right. All right. This has similar features. The mild charred oak, but it's more oak of wood flavor throughout. The sweet corn or popcorn, the vanilla that you get from that oak, that kind of strange thing. But there's more power here, more proof. 96 versus 80. Power, power. Honestly, though, for me, and I only speak for myself because I can only taste for myself. Um, I kind of prefer the 80 proof one. I just prefer the McKenna. It's more mild and mellow. Yeah, and more of a sourdough thing. Is it going to be bursting with flavor? No, it isn't. It isn't going to be bursting with flavor. On the other hand, it's not drab either. It's not really drab. Like you might think, oh, 9.99 for Kentucky straight bourbon. I bet that's the worst thing ever. No, 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 no. I can't get it in my town. I don't believe it's sold here. Maybe some obscure store around here has a bottle or two, but commonly here in this town, no, you can't find it. You can find the 10-year aged, the 40 something dollar bottle, or even if it's more than that. But the regular Henry McKenna, no, I bought this in Luling. No, that's Boutique, right? Boutique, Louisiana. Yeah, Boutique. I think it is actually Boutique. They're right next to each other, so I can't tell which is which. But it was at Majoria's grocery store, and they have a pretty nice beer and liquor section, tell you the truth. But it was $9.99, so I bought it. And they run some nice specials, I have to say. They run some nice specials. Now the Daviess County, I bought this at Mathern's, and it wasn't $38.99. It was $14.99, if you can believe it. Sounds crazy, huh? I'm gonna call it. I think this is the Daviess County. Got it right. Yeah, I knew I would. Was I overconfident? No, I wasn't overconfident, and but I did get it wrong twice so far in this series. Some of these can be tricky. You think I got my bourbon down. I'm down. I'll never get it wrong. Well, let's go ahead and all right, All Star, do the video, make the live taste challenge blind though, and then I'll watch it. Y'all know I watch all these videos. So if you're that much of an all star, let's prove it. And maybe you are, but I doubt it. You think this is easy? You are probably wrong. I mean, in this series, you got 96 proof versus a bunch of 80s, so the chances of getting it wrong is low, but not impossible. Not impossible. Tinger says, I don't whiskey. I guess he means I don't drink whiskey, but Canadian Mist is a great budget swill. Canadian Mist is a good budget Canadian whiskey. It's a mixer. It's not really designed for sipping. And we know that by the fact that the bottle says it's not designed for sipping. Just read the label. It says, this is made for mixed drinks. Not to say you can't sip it. Of course you could sip it. You're just going to say, like, this is kind of bland. If you drink it, you're going to say, it's kind of bland. Well, yeah, it's designed to be bland. I mean, read their whole website and their history. And it was designed specifically to be fairly tasteless and odorless. But it was designed to mix well in cocktails and highballs. Now, that seems kind of bizarre, like why would you intentionally make a product like that? But they knew that people like to do that with whiskeys, and they didn't really want to pay a whole lot. So they designed a whiskey that would be inexpensive and would be super mixable and cocktail oriented, and it is, and it sells, and it's popular. It's one of the top 10 selling whiskeys in America. I think of any type. I don't think it's one of the top 10 Canadians. I just think it's one of the top 10 whiskeys. But it could be just in the Canadian club. But it's very popular. Sazerac bought it, paid a lot of money for it, but they knew they were getting something good. And they'll tell you on the website, buy the handle. They're telling you buy the handle because it's cheaper per ounce. They're telling you that. No, they're not telling you don't buy the single if you want it. The regular bottle, glass bottle, do what you want. But they're saying the handle's the way to go because you're getting more for less. I don't pay $1 million for scotch. I'm glad you don't. Evan Williams is a sipper. Yeah, in a way. So these are so Daviess County is a sipper for sure. I mean, I don't know why you want to pay $39 and then go blend it with sugar and bitters and other stuff and make a cocktail. Like you could do that with a really cheap whiskey because those flavors gonna override the bourbon. I know people that claim, they claim maybe they know what they're talking about because I don't drink cocktails. So what I know, but I use Old Granddad for my old fashions. Old Granddad, that makes the best old fashions, they claim. Okay, maybe it does. I'll be the last person you should ask because I don't drink cocktails. So when people start discussing cocktails and highballs, I get quiet. I mean, I'll listen to them. It might be interesting to hear it, but I'm not going to give them any input because I don't have any input. Did I pick up any fall beers yet? No, I haven't actually. Not a single one. I mean, I'm so used to those. If you want to say tired of them, okay. But I mean, it's the same ones every year. It's always the same thing. They're all good. Samuel Adams Oktoberfest beer, the Weihenstephaner Fest beer, the Paulaner. It's the same ones. They're all good. I recommend them. But I mean, it's just like repetitive for me, so I don't want to keep buying them. But maybe I will, because viewers seem to like the videos, and I do like drinking them. So I kind of want to wait around to see if. Well, we did try. My friend David bought one. We tried Oktoberfest beer yesterday. That was a horrible experience. Of course, the company doesn't bother to put the date on the can. So is it for this year's Oktoberfest, or was it a can left over from 3 years ago or 4 years ago? Who's going to know? We don't know. It was the same label as the current website. So, but maybe they do like Samuel Adams and never change the label for Oktoberfest. Some companies each year it's a different label. And I told David during the review, I said, I hope that this beer is this bad because it's old. Let's hope it's not this bad because that's how it tastes. I said if it would have been an old can, we wouldn't have done the video anyway. If it had been out of date, we don't record those videos generally, just unless we want to see if it holds up. But we didn't do that yesterday. He had a bunch of we had so many to drink, but he wanted to do a series. We did one video already, like if it's aged, will it hold up or will it flop? My opinion is usually it's going to flop. Okay. Wings and pizza, bro. I can't. From my favorite craft, New Belgium Accumulation White IPA. That's a good one. Blue Moon is a great beer. New Glarus. Moon. Oh, Moon. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go. Moon Jumper. All right. I just prefer the Henry McKenna. You asking me, you say which is better? Well, they're both very nice. In my opinion, the Henry McKenna is nicer. I would buy this first. I know it's not up to the admiration level. I know it's an inexpensive one, but to me, it has a nicer flavor. And I call them as I see them. I don't call them as people expect me to call them. So if I had a choice, I'm going to buy the Henry McKenna every time. And I'm going to stick by that. All right, y'all take care now.